Imagine waking up one morning to the news that Canada has joined the United States. No longer an independent country, but now the 51st state. What would that mean for the economy, for politics, for everyday life? This is not science fiction. It's a what-if worth thinking about. Politically, this would be a massive transformation. Canada would dissolve its federal government. No more prime minister, no more parliament. Instead, the country would adopt the US federal structure. Each Canadian province could become its own state, possibly adding 10 or more stars to the American flag. Overnight, over 40 million Canadians would become American citizens. That would significantly alter the demographic and political makeup of the United States, especially in Congress. New voices, new votes, and a shift in balance. The transition would require countless constitutional amendments, treaties, and legal realignments. There would be intense debates on both sides about sovereignty, governance, and national identity. Many Canadians might view the move as a loss of independence and democratic values, while some Americans could see it as an overreach. Economically, the merger would create a global powerhouse. The combined GDP of the two countries would exceed $30 trillion, potentially surpassing China. Canada's natural resources, oil, lumber, freshwater, and minerals, would be under joint control. But the transition wouldn't be smooth. Differences in tax laws, minimum wage, and business regulations would cause friction. Some Canadian industries might struggle under the more competitive US system, especially in agriculture and healthcare-related sectors. Employment markets would shift rapidly, and cross-border job migration would spike. American companies might flood the Canadian market, impacting local businesses and sparking fears of cultural and economic assimilation. Meanwhile, some Canadians could see new opportunities in US infrastructure projects and defense contracts. Canada would adopt the US dollar, phasing out the Canadian dollar. That kind of currency overhaul could trigger short-term economic shocks, inflation, price fluctuations, uncertainty, but over time, Canadians would benefit from using the world's most dominant currency. International trade might become easier, investment more attractive. Still, monetary policy would now be fully controlled by the Federal Reserve, meaning Canada would lose its autonomy over interest rates and inflation control. Financial institutions would face the challenge of harmonizing banking systems, insurance frameworks, and investment portfolios. Consumers could experience confusion over price adjustments, while governments would need to reconcile massive fiscal differences in budgeting and spending priorities. Beyond politics and money, there's identity. Canadians are proud of their social systems, universal healthcare, stricter gun laws, and a more community-focused society. Losing these elements could lead to protests, cultural friction, or even attempts at autonomy within Canada's former borders. In Quebec, where language and identity are closely tied, resistance would be especially fierce. Indigenous communities across the country might also demand sovereignty or special status. Social integration would not happen overnight. Education systems, media, and public narratives would face a long process of harmonization. Differences in national values, such as trust in government and views on immigration, could spark deep societal debates. Globally, this move would shock the world. A United States with full control over North America's Arctic regions and natural resources would be even more powerful. NATO would gain strength, but global adversaries like China and Russia would view this as a major strategic threat. Trade alliances would shift, military posturing would intensify, alliances could fracture or realign based on new power dynamics. Global markets might experience volatility, and international diplomacy would be tested. The US would not only gain land, resources, and people, it would also inherit Canada's global image and reputation for diplomacy, peacekeeping, and environmental leadership. So, would this merger create a better, stronger North America? Or would it ignite division, protest, and economic chaos? What do you think? Could the United States and Canada ever truly become one? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more thought-provoking what-if scenarios.